Rupturing my ACL, my knee, getting injured, it affected me more so mentally than physically. It was a tough physical grind when basketball was my whole life. It was so hard to overcome the mental struggles of not being able to play basketball for 2 years, so it was definitely a tough grind mentally. And as I said, it was more so a mental grind and a spiritual and emotional grind than it was physical. And I fell into deep depression during this time, and I was questioning my worth and questioning why I was even on this earth anymore. I attached my whole identity to being an athlete and a basketball player, and so when I was injured and this was taken away from me, I wasn't sure who I was anymore, and I had to go through a lot of soul searching, and that has really led me to where I am today. And some of the things that have helped me is meditation, connecting with nature, connecting with my culture. As an athlete, being healthy is something I'll never take for granted, because I know how much this injury affected me and how much it affected me being off the court. The hardest part about surgery was definitely the anxiety that came with it, and not knowing when I was going to have surgery or not knowing when I was going to be able to get back on the court and play again. From the time I got injured until the time I played again, it took 23 months to fully recover and get back to full strength. There was often times where I would have to go to the gym alone, and while everyone else was doing their intense workouts, I'll be starting at scratch and just learning how to strengthen my leg again, enough how to walk. But it was important to remind myself that slow progress is still progress, and if I can just make it through another day of doing my rehab and getting better every day, then eventually at the end of the road I'll be able to look back and be proud of myself. And in a way, I am grateful, because I came back even stronger and healthier than I was before. The things that drive me to achieve my goals is my supportive family and friends that are around me, always encouraging me. And it's also the young boy that I imagine myself as when I was a young kid and all I wanted to do was play sport. I always think about that young kid that's always inside me, that has that burning desire to be great and just wants to achieve in whatever he does, and basketball makes him happy. And so I often think of him, and I thought of him while I was doing my rehab and thought about how I wanted to help him fulfill his childhood dream to play basketball again, and I feel like that all paid off. And I also have the naysayers in the back of my mind, the people that told me I'll never achieve my dreams, and the people that told me my dreams are too big or I should choose another dream. I always keep those people in the back of my mind, and so when I'm grinding and when I'm going through my rehab process, I always think about not how I can prove them wrong, but how I can always prove myself right. Also, what I learned is that along the way, the reward is not the destination. The reward wasn't me completing my rehab. The reward was all the things I learned away on the journey. And that's, if I could take one thing away from this whole process, is that the reward is actually the journey. The reward was falling into deep depression and finding myself again. The reward was the sleepless nights and spending the time at the gym by myself. And so it wasn't so much about getting back on the court again, but more so about all the things that I learned along the way. And that's the advice I would give to everyone, is that to enjoy the journey, and the reward is in the journey. I'm grateful because I feel like doing my ACL, going through all the rehab process and the mentally gruelling grind of coming back from a serious injury has helped shape the way I see life and the perspective I now have on life. I feel like I have a more gratitude, and I'm just grateful for all the blessings that I have in my life. And I feel like I've achieved a lot. It took a lot to go through all the rehab process alone. When I look back on those times, I'm grateful for the times now where I can move freely. I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in physically, and so it all paid off, and everything happens for a reason. And I'm so glad that I could get through the excruciating grind and see that for myself.